A Washington Post-ABC News poll shows that more than 6 in 10 Americans, 64%, say President Trump has the mental sharpness and physical health to serve effectively as president, while only 32% say the same of President Biden. This finding reflects some of the stark challenges Biden is facing at the outset of his re-election campaign, as he tries to solidify the coalition that carried him to a narrow victory in 2020. Some of the GOP rivals of Biden, such as Trump, Haley, and DeSantis, have attacked his age and fitness for the job, and some voters have expressed concerns about his acumen and urgency. Biden's doctor has declared him healthy, but some voters have seen videos of him stumbling or losing his train of thought. Biden's age could become a contrast in a general election, as some voters may prefer a younger leader, while others may see him as more experienced and honorable. Biden's allies hope he will dispel any doubts by showing his vigor on the campaign trail and in the White House, while his foes hope to magnify any perceived lapses. Britain celebrated King Charles's coronation with street parties and a concert featuring singers Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Andrea Bocelli at Windsor Castle on Sunday. The king's younger brother Prince Edward, his sister Princess Anne and Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, the daughter of Charles's other brother Prince Andrew, were due to attend big lunch events, joining some of the estimated 50,000 street parties being held around the country. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak was among those hosting a coronation lunch, with the guests including Ukrainian families and youth groups. Later, Charles and Camilla and other senior royals joined an audience of 20,000 members of the public and invited guests for the coronation concert at Windsor, the King's Palace to the west of London. Among those performing were Take That, Nigerian singer-songwriter Tiwa Savage and pianist Lang Lang, while Hollywood actor Tom Cruise, British actor Joan Collins and Winnie the Pooh also featured. The event also included a lighting up the nation with projections and laser displays illuminating landmarks and areas of natural beauty across the country. The California Reparations Task Force has recommended that the state offer payments of up to $1.2 million to every qualifying Black resident. The payments are broken down by types of historical discrimination. Black residents affected by redlining by banks would receive $3,366 for each year they lived in California from the early 1930s to the late 1970s, amounting to up to $148,099. Similarly, Black residents could receive roughly $2,352 in compensation for over-policing and mass incarceration for each year they lived in California between 1970 and 2020. Those payments could amount to $115,260. The Prescription Drug Reform Act was signed into law by Governor Ron DeSantis. The act will allow the purchase of prescription drugs outside of the U.S. and will prohibit specific acts related to the Florida Drug and Cosmetic Act. The bill will help put some transparency into the healthcare system and lower prescription drug costs for customers in Florida. The prices of prescription drugs will also be tracked, and any significant increase in price that reaches a certain threshold must have the rationale behind it explained beforehand. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida arrived in South Korea for a summit with President Yoon Suk Yeol, marking the full-scale resumption of shuttle diplomacy between the two countries' leaders after 12 years. The summit will cover issues such as security, high-tech industries, science and technology, and cooperation on youth and cultural affairs. Trade and economic issues will likely be high on the agenda as well. The two countries are also in the process of restoring each other as trusted trading partners after having removed each other from their respective whitelists of nations eligible for preferential export treatment amid the forced labor row in 2019. Following the death of Jordan Neely, the Michael Jackson on New York subway, who was put in a fatal chokehold on the subway earlier this week. Dozens of protesters gathered in Washington Square Park to push for charges against Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old ex-Marine who put Neely in the chokehold. The New York law firm of Razor and Kenneth released a statement confirming the identity of Penny and said that he acted to protect himself and others until help arrived. The NYPD questioned and then released Penny, and the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is reportedly preparing to present the case to a grand jury. Scientists have discovered a gigantic structure under the surface of the Moon, buried beneath its South Pole Aitken Basin. The structure weighs at least 2.18 billion kilograms and measures more than 300 kilometers in depth and 2,000 kilometers in length. It could be made of metal from an asteroid or oxides from a magma ocean. The discovery was made by NASA's Grail mission, which measures changes in the Moon's gravitational field. The basin is one of the largest preserved craters in the solar system and offers clues on the interior composition and history of the Moon.
Thank you for watching. Please support our efforts by liking and sharing the videos. Don't forget to subscribe to get our regular updates.